people will say, quite rightly, that obviously, you had some horrible experiences, while breaking into the business. Now, I think some people will say, rightly or wrongly, that maybe you're using that to try and get sympathy for now.
Yeah.
If you let me, for now, exploiting people and taking their money. Those people who are saying you're money grabbing will undoubtedly, that will be their reaction. So, aside from, let's put aside, if we can, your own experiences as a youngster. In terms of what you've done as a promoter or, as someone trying to make a living out of wrestling, do you think, as an adult, do you think it is a fair comment to say you are money grabbing?
No, I don't think it is. I think, I'll give you an example. If I was money grabbing, right, I would have made a lot more money out of wrestling than I am. It's not about money grabbing, it's about making a living from the industry that is my living. Like, if you work at any job and you get offered overtime and you take the overtime, are you money grabbing to take that? If you find other ways to make, if that is your industry, and also if it's pulling money in, for example, right, jobs in wrestling, because I know we spoke before that, that's something you wanted to talk about. Do you know who runs jobs in wrestling?
No.
Richard Dunn, who came from one of my jobs in wrestling seminars. And since that seminar, he's gone on to run jobs in wrestling, run his own show and work as a manager on shows as a result of that, right? So that's somebody who, as I said in my seminars, this seminar will give you a job in wrestling if you want it. Like, you've been here when we've had people from those seminars, but the point is you have to show initiative. I had some guy basically say wanted a refund because he had told me, I said, you need to bring a CV. And he said to me, my son's dyslexic, he can't write a CV. I said, doesn't matter, I'll send you a template of a CV, you can fill it in for him. Well, I thought he was going to get a guaranteed job. I said, not a guaranteed paying job. That was explained in, you think you're going to pay £80 and get... So I do believe that it's a lot... Wrestling is... Here's the nuts and bolts of wrestling. Wrestling, just like any sort of anything that's fun, acting, the music industry, anything showbiz, there's going to be a hell of a lot of people that want to get involved in it. But the difference between wrestling and those other forms of entertainment is, if I'm in the ring, let's look at Brock Lesnar. Okay, Brock Lesnar had everything handed to him. He had the best OVW deal. He came in, destroyed everybody, won the WWE title, and then when he got bored, walked away. Okay, now that's good for Brock Lesnar, but that sort of, not laziness, but a lack of commitment to wrestling. If I'm wrestling somebody who just starts to think, you know what, I can't be bothered with this, I can't be bothered with the pain, I decide to do a flip dive over the top rope onto them, and because they can't be bothered now and they're not committed to people's perception, other professionals' perception of them, they decide to sidestep my dive or not catch me properly, that could put me in a wheelchair. So I think with wrestling, there is always there's always the problem that if you get people who are not committed to the cause, there's accidents that are going to happen. But I also believe that doing stuff for free is not exploiting, because I'm saying I did 5 years for free, but I don't believe that is an excuse for people to do 5 years for free. I'm sort of saying I don't have any regrets from that period. But because what I got was an education, and it was an education that fueled me to go further. But when even if you did a year for free, to me that's not exploitation, because any sort of industry, any like television or whatever, you're going to be running around doing different jobs and doing it for free. You're going to be making tea, whatever, just to get an experience and make some contacts. Now, people will say to me, but the difference is, if I'm doing that for a television station, I'm going to go on to bigger and better things. Well, first of all, there's no guarantee that's going to happen. You've got to be in the right place at the right time and make the right contacts. And secondly, you can still do that in wrestling. You just have to show initiative. Wrestling doesn't owe anyone a living. It doesn't owe me a living. And I think I've done far more than most people. I have to continue to find ways to make a living from wrestling. And as long as I'm doing it in a way that benefits other people, then I don't think there's any problem in that at all.
Okay, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for this week. Don't forget to tune in next week if you want to hear the second half of that interview with Alex Shane. Next week, Alex will be looking forward to New Frontiers, giving his views on the new FWA roster and talking more about his role in the company. Before we go, obviously, let's talk about New Frontiers. It's on August the 2nd. There's still tickets available, and we've got a great card of action lined up, as well as that FWA unsigned card and the Fan Slam in the afternoon. How about this for a card of wrestling in the evening? First of all, the FWA's tag team division begins as the leaders of the new school take on CJ Banks and Jerry Hayes. And then those qualifiers for the open tournament for the FWA World Heavyweight Championship begins. Leroy Kincaid takes on the man that gravity forgot, Pac. That's going to be a real clash of styles, but what a match it promises to be. Bubblegum, Dave Morales, David and Goliath, if you like. Another qualifier there that's going to be brutal if it goes the way Dave Morales is hoping, but Bubblegum certainly hoping to cause an upset. Joel Redman and Terry Frazier also in a qualifier. They know each other so well from their feuds over the past year or so, but this time a place in that tournament is on the line. Who will come out on top? We'll find out 2nd of August. A qualifying match for the FWA Flyweight Championship tournament, which is going to be a round-robin tournament. This is a 4-way match, and it's kind of the old and the new of the FWA. How about this? Jody Fleisch, Johnny Storm, Rockstar Spud, and Mark Haskins. Only one winner to go forward into that flyweight tournament. El Liguero will be in Broxbourne as well. He's going to be updating us on the condition of his shoulder after injuring it a few months ago. Hopefully he's well on the road to recovery, but we'll see exactly what his status is at New Frontiers as well. And what about this for a main event? It's another qualifier for the FWA World Heavyweight Championship tournament. Martin Stone, the governor, against the anarchist Doug Williams. That promises to be an unforgettable way to close New Frontiers. So if you like the sound of that incredible card and you'd like to be in Broxbourne for New Frontiers on the 2nd of August, tickets start at just £10. The number for the Broxbourne Civic Hall box office is 01992 441 946. That's 01992 441 946. Or of course you can find out more information at www.fwauk.com. Just before I go, I promised you at the top of the show I would tell you about some of the guests we've got coming up in the next few shows. Now, after next week's second half of the interview with Alex Shane, the week after that, we've got Phil Flash Barker on the show, and then FWA Managing Director Tony Simpson. Now, because of recording schedules, we can't take any questions for Flash Barker, but if you have a question you'd like to put to Tony Simpson, that email address one more time, radio@fwauk.com. So don't forget to join me next week. For now, this has been Dave Bradshaw. You've been listening to FWA Radio.